Hey, and welcome. It's always exciting to meet you ladies here on Tuesdays at 9:30, but it is only 9:29, so I am going to give it a few minutes before I get started on the read and give others a time to come in. So welcome and happy Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great evening, a great day. Excuse my voice, but I am, I will say, having a so-so day today, but that's okay because it's going to get better. Well, it's an evening now, but it's going to get better for tomorrow. I promise you that. So I hope you ladies have had a great day. Please chime in and let me know where you are listening from. We are going to be reading from my book today. Again, Intensify the Woman Within. Chapter 10 is Thinking Out Loud. And that's quote unquote, or in parentheses, thinking things into existence. And welcome if you're just chiming in. My name is Zipporah Israel, and I'm the author of Intensify the Woman Within. And if you have been following me for the last few weeks, we have been going through the different chapters on my book to just get more of an insight on how do you intensify the woman within when you're in purpose or a woman who's stepping into purpose. If you have a business, if you want to have a business, if you want to have just a purpose-driven woman, not necessarily if it's not in you to be an entrepreneur, but just to be a woman of great character. Not saying that you're not, but it's always room for improvement, and that's even with myself. So I'm not excluded from this, but we do come in on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 9:30, which I might be actually moving that time up. But again, I wanted to mention that because I will most likely be moving it up. So if you're just chiming in, like I said, welcome. We will be getting started here shortly on our read tonight for chapter 10. Again, that is Thinking Out Loud, and that's thinking things into existence. So if you've been following me, you know as I read that I will stop along the chapter and read a little bit of the chapter and then go a little bit in detail of the chapter. So this is a very, very short chapter, okay? For chapter 10 is thinking things into existence, thinking out loud. So when you're reading along, if you have my book, and if you don't have my book, you can go on Amazon, Intensify the Woman Within, or on my website, www.authorZipporah.com, and you can get it from there. But we're going to be going through the chapter, and I will be pausing a little bit just to go. But if you have anything, like any input or tips or things like that you want to share as far as thinking things to existence, again, this is a short read, but it's so much information when it comes to thinking things into existence. I'm a firm believer that when you are or wanting to live into purpose and step into purpose as a woman, that you are cultivating the things that you're thinking of in your mind, and you're actually manifesting those things into your reality. So purpose-driven women, or women with goals and things that you want to accomplish in your life, I think this is a very, 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 very good topic when it comes to wanting to bring the things that you are contemplating or thinking of in your mind into a reality. Okay, so this is really what this chapter is about. So I'm going to get started with the read. We're not going to go long. Like I said, this chapter is very short, so I usually stay on for about 15 to 20 minutes or so, maybe a little longer, depends on the chapter. So tonight, because it's short, I'm sure we're not going to be on that long. But if you are able to stay the whole time, if not, that's totally fine. But it's always a replay that you can always go back and recap. We're going to be doing more exciting things on my book, so just stay with me. Things are going to be definitely being more progressive with interactions and activities and things that we're going to be doing. So I do appreciate you just taking your time out of your busy schedule and just coming in and, you know, listening in on the different topics that we speak about within my book, Intensify the Woman Within. Last week's read was affirmations. So that's a very, 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 very important part of thinking things into existence, because for me, affirmations and thinking positive affirmations creates more of the things that how you want your life to be. And when you really affirm things into your life to come into your life. So that is furthermore on why I have thinking out loud being the next chapter. Okay, so we're going to start our read with, again, chapter 10, thinking out loud, thinking things into existence. When you are affirming positive things into your life, it's like speaking your desires and dreams into existence. Every thought you have is like planting a seed in the garden of your mind. If you constantly think negative thoughts, you'll only reap negativity in your life. On the other hand, when you cultivate positive thoughts and affirmations, you are nurturing a garden of abundance and positivity. So it's essential to be mindful of the thoughts you entertain, because they have the power to shape your reality. I'm going to pause right there. Do you find yourself, or let me ask you this, do you find it hard to stop thinking negative thoughts about yourself or about life or people in general? Please comment below and let me know if you have a hard time thinking positive thoughts about your life and about the things that you want in your life. I know at times in my life and in my journey that I've had very, very, very difficult time shifting my mind from thinking, even though I was a positive person all my life, we still have negative thoughts at times, okay? Nobody is exempt from that. And so when I did have those negative thoughts, because I wasn't aware or didn't know the magnitude of thinking those thoughts will bring things into my life, and as I was thinking those, it was kind of hard without knowing how to do it to shift into a positive, more positive thinking at the moment. So what I've learned in my process of, again, saying affirmations and affirming more positive things into my life is when it started to shift. So when those negative thoughts did come, then it was almost like overpowering. So when the negative thoughts were to come up after I was learning more and affirming more positive thoughts, I was able to combat it more, so like knock them out. So when the negative thoughts did come, I was like, oh no, you don't live in my mind, and I will replace it with a positive thought. Because I've said so many affirmations, so many positive affirmations. So that's why it's important for you to have positive affirmations or say positive affirmations. So when you do think of negative things into your life, then you could replace it with a positive thought easier the more you affirm positive things into your life, if that makes sense. And if it don't make sense, hopefully as we read this, it will start to make more sense. But that's what helped me. It really helped once I started to understand, if I'm constantly planning this negative thought, it's actually planting like a seed in the ground. And the more I think on that thought, it's going to grow, because that's what seeds does. You keep watering a seed after you plant it, and you add the things that it needs to have to that seed, it will eventually grow into whatever you planted, whether that's an apple tree or orange tree, watermelon, no matter what it is, it's going to come out what you planted. So if I'm planting negative seeds into my mind, and I'm constantly focusing on that or constantly watering the negativity, it's going to grow. So in my journey, when things happen in my life, thinking out loud, thinking things into existence, thinking of negative things, and then when negative things took place in my life, I had to understand that I needed to shift whatever those thoughts was that was creating that to happen into my life. I had to shift my paradigm in my mind to actually create the opposite that I was doing for my life. Okay, so I wanted to elaborate a little bit on that because it's very important to understand the seeds that we're planting daily, hourly, monthly, and don't feel bad if you are at a beginning part of your journey when it comes to thinking positive, because it takes a strong person to recognize that you wasn't at one point doing it and now you are. And now you're focused on becoming more of a positive thinker because you want to have a more positive outcome in your life and you want to be able to step further into your purpose or just become a better you. So don't feel bad if you on your beginning part of your journey, middle part, or if you have years of experience of it and you're still experiencing negative thoughts. That's okay. It's about acknowledging it and then moving forward and recognizing that you have the potential to think positive thoughts if you choose to. If you allow your mind to shift and create more positive thoughts. How do you do that? Affirm it. Listen to more positive music, positive videos. Surround yourself around positive people. People who want and that is feeding your mind with positivity, the things that you actually want in your life. Okay? Back to the read. For example, if you keep telling yourself, I am not good enough, you will start to believe it. And that belief will reflect in how you carry yourself and the opportunities you pursue. Instead, imagine the impact of affirming, I am capable and deserving of success. Think about that impact that can actually have into your life if you was to actually shift your mind and daily say that to yourself. I am capable and deserving of success. Jot that down. This positive affirmation cultivates self-belief and sets the tone for you to excel in various aspects of your life. By acknowledging your worth and potential through positive affirmations, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities and attract opportunities that align with your desires. So remember that your thoughts are powerful. It was saying, I'm going to pause right there. And I've listened to a lot of different motivational speakers throughout my life. One being, I don't know if you ever heard of Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, where, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to probably say it verbatim how I heard it, but it was a saying where every 17 seconds, when you think a thought, every 17 seconds, another thought, another like thought attaches to that thought to create more thoughts. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. And like I said, I'm paraphrasing that from Abraham Hicks, where If I'm thinking of positive thought right now, the positive thought could be, oh, I love my life, right? Another 17 seconds is going to attach to that thought. That's a positive thought, right? Oh, I love my kids. Oh, I got more money in the bank. And I'm just putting this out here. These are positive thoughts. So as I'm saying the positive thoughts, every 17 seconds, another thought is attaching to that thought, which is going to create the outcome, right? So it's going to create your reality, your existence, right? So it's so powerful. The mind and thoughts are so powerful. If I continue to believe that, the things that I'm thinking, every 17 seconds, a thought is going to attach to that is going to create my reality. Wait a minute, right? What other thoughts, what other positive thoughts can I think of that I would want in my life to happen? Let me think of those thoughts if that's true. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. Test it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Test the theory out for yourself, because I had to. When I first heard that, I was like, wait, what? I don't know about this. But as I started to do it, I see the results, which was more accurate for me. I didn't have to believe what I heard any longer. I believe what was going on in my life after I practice it, right? So if I'm doing that with positive thoughts, what you think is going on with negative thoughts? For an example, oh, I hate my life. I'll never amount to anything. Oh, I'm broke. I'm this. All of that, of course, to me, is negative thoughts. So if I'm constantly focusing on those thoughts, and every 17 seconds, another like thought attaches to that thought, that's going to create my reality. I need to stop thinking those thoughts. Why? Because I hate my life. No, it's a negative thought. Why would I say that? I'm broke. No. If that's not what you want in your life to bring into your existence, because it will, you don't have to believe me. You can test the theory yourself. I just chose to test the theory of positive thoughts to come into my life. And now I'm living the results of that. So you test the theory and come back to me a few months from now, and you let me know how it works out for you, whether it's positive or negative. I would rather you do it positive, because I don't want you coming to me mad at me, telling me, well, you told me to do this. No, I want you to live a great life. I want you to live a positive life. I want you to live a loving life. I send that to you. Hopefully you choose that for yourself. Back to the read. So, remember that your thoughts are powerful. What you think is what you become. By embracing positivity and consciously affirming the life you want to live, you are setting the stage for a fulfilling and peaceful, fulfilling and purposeful journey. Take charge of your thoughts, speak your desires into existence, and watch how your reality transforms in alignment with the affirmations you choose to embrace. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 10. I hope you got some use out of that chapter, some informative information. If you've heard those things and those concepts in your life, please let me know your thoughts and how it's worked out for you. Please let me know if you have any other things that you would love to add to it. Please put it in the comments. I would love to hear, because guess what? It is a lot more to thinking things into existence. I appreciate y'all coming in tonight on this beautiful Tuesday night. I just feel better being here with y'all in y'all presence, and just being here, being able to indulge into the greatness of life and thinking things into existence. Another hot topic is going to be for next week. Y'all going to have to tune in and see what that topic is going to be about. I'm actually going to surprise y'all for next week. I'm not even going to tell y'all what to be expecting tonight. But later on next week, I will be mentioning for Chapter 11 what the hot topic is going to be about. If you enjoyed this read, please come back and return next Tuesday at 9:30. It's most likely going to probably be 8:30, because I want to make sure that we are live, woke, and informative on this read. Thank you again for joining me. Again, I'm Support Israel, the author of Intensify, the Woman Within. Y'all have a great night, and we'll be chiming in next Tuesday.